Mr. Joe in the building. How are you, bro?
Yeah, good, bro. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, bro. Just like, doing these interviews. Everything's going well. Everything's
I've
going well.
seen, man. I've seen. You've been busy, haven't you?
Yeah, you know what? It's weird, yeah. Like coming into quarantine, like the first week, I was just in bed chilling, like I didn't do anything. I was thinking, you know what, yeah, what have I got to do? And then
We've
when
been there,
I
man,
when
for
I kind of
sure.
woke up one day, I was just like, yeah, let me just start interviewing people. And yeah,
Yeah, it's sick,
it's
man.
going,
You've
man.
done a load. You've done a load of us. It
I've
seems like
done,
you've
I'd
captured.
say like maybe 100 now, man. It's like
Yeah, geez. What's the goal? What you aiming towards?
there is actually no aim with this. It's like I'm just trying to. This is my way of networking, though, kind of thing. And
Right.
the first kind of thing for me was just to get to know other DJs' experiences and like how everyone kind of deals with going into quarantine and dealing with just like their ups and downs in DJing and blah 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 and how they started. But now because I'm seeing it grow, I'm kind of thinking, do I want to? Because I want to go to Capital Extra. That's the main thing for me.
Oh yeah.
So I'm thinking, can I use this as like a portfolio for interviewing based skills and stuff like that?
Sick.
Because there's a lot of DJs on Capital Extra in a lot of radios that haven't even interviewed any of the people I've interviewed. So
Mm.
it's been good, man. But yeah, how you
Fair
been during
play, bro.
quarantine?
Oh, mate.
You
It's
bored?
been,
You
it's
bored
been,
already?
yeah, I'm bored. It's been all right. I'm bored as hell, but it's just I miss work, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I miss work a lot. I miss like my bank looking like I can go grab whatever I want. It's not looking like that
It's not
right
looking
now.
like that.
Fucking hell.
When do you think it's coming back? When do you think anything's gonna come back to normality?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm not like pessimistic because that's just not what I'm like. So I'm just like, oh fucking hell. Hopefully it'll open soon. I'm hoping that places in Europe open before. I reckon they'll open even before our clubs,
They'll
probably.
definitely open before. Well, Greece has already opened up for tourism, so I think that's gonna be
So
fine.
yeah. I'm gonna be
Do you think you're gonna
party
go over
island
there?
hopping. I'm gonna go anywhere. Yeah, first one that says green light, I'm off, mate. I swear.
You're off, man.
I swear, yeah.
It must be a good break for you though. Like I
Yeah.
mean, you were probably traveling a lot and doing a lot
Yeah.
of gigs here and there.
Yeah, I was, but I just enjoy it, to be honest. So I don't feel like I felt all right for like 2 3 weeks. I was like, I'll buzz in a nice little break, but
Hmm.
now it's taking the
You weren't
piss,
in it
man.
for the long run.
No,
Bro,
jeez.
when the trim is like that as well.
Oh, stink. I thought this looked all right, but Sam.
Nah, man's
No,
bad, bro. Don't
joking.
worry, man. You know
Yeah.
what? I'm just waiting for. Yeah, not. I don't think anything's gonna go back to normal, but I think just society to get back rolling.
Yeah, is that what you think? Yeah, you don't think that it's ever going to get back to full normal?
Nah, because
Really? What do
I
you
was
think's
on
going to be
live with
different?
Nathan Dorn. He was saying, when are we ever gonna have 80,000 people in a stadium? Like, when are we actually gonna have that? It's gonna be
Yeah, that's
so
going to be a
long
while for sure.
because if
But
you look at
it's only Nathan that has to worry about them numbers. So I
True, but I mean
think I'll be all right.
but that could get to you. Never know.
Yeah, yeah. Not before Corona dies. I don't think. I'd be lucky if it did.
But bro, going going back to how you started with DJing, how did everything begin for you?
Um, I just like picked up like a program virtual DJ for my computer when I was like
Yeah, yeah, virtual DJ.
15. And I just thought, oh, I'm just gonna play about. I'm 28 now, so this is like 13 years ago. I thought, oh, I'm just gonna play about on this, and I just thought it was class. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this. I spent ages doing it. I love music, obviously, anyway, like we all do. But yeah, I just thought, oh, this is a good way to spend like a couple hours every day. So then I was just on this little program with my little mouse on some old school HP
Mm.
Vibe laptop, and yeah, and then I was just like, no, I'm gonna invest in some kit here because I like it. So then I just got a basic pair of CDJs, and then just went from there.
Well, you kind of went from there. So
Yeah.
what was your first clubbing gig?
I used to play in Leicester in a club. I'm from Leicester
Yeah.
originally. In a club called Softbeck, and it was like it opened at I think it opened at 4 a.m. It was like a dungeon. It's horrible, and I got paid, and I think I got like 4 red stripes, and then they were just like, yeah, maybe we'll sort some cash in future. And I was like,
Maybe
sound.
we'll say in future.
Yeah, but I didn't care. Yes, stylus, by the way, or stylo. Wagwan.
So
But
going
yeah,
from then, how have you got to now? Like, what's been the journey for you? A lot of networking, a lot of
um, yeah, a lot of networking. I was just like I was DJing like dubstep and grime and stuff back in the
yeah,
day, and I thought, let's get away from that. Started going a bit more housey and R&B and stuff, and then I moved up to Leeds for university, and I was just in like halls of residence, and um, yeah, just started DJing like house parties and stuff around there, and just practiced loads, got better and better, just gained a bit of notoriety. Then I played a couple of student gigs because like things travel, especially in halls. So if
mm,
you're DJing and people are like, oh, there's that guy in block F that DJs all the house parties, like, and then it just filters up. So eventually it filtered up to a promotional team that said, "Do you want to try a party with us?" I was like, "Yeah, sound." And just DJed that. I was just doing residencies for years then, like on the side. I had a full-time
yeah.
job, but I was doing residencies, and then it just got to the point probably about 3 years ago when I just thought, right, I don't need this full-time job now. Like technically, I can support myself on what I've got, but I need to push a bit more. And then yeah, just since
So do
then,
you regret
loads
that
of
or
offers.
not?
Nah, no way. That was the best thing I ever did. I left my job, and then when you're the sort of you're the only sort of driving force behind will you be able to eat or not. It just makes you
Yeah.
work so much harder. So I think and I was able to just say yes to everything. Before it was like, oh, have I got work at 9 a.m. the next day? Have I got this? But
Your
yeah,
sleeping pattern's messed up though.
yeah, yeah, man. It's messed up now, especially. Usually I'm just nights. It's all right. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
do like not residencies as much anymore, but the way it usually ends up, I probably end up doing like 5 or 6 shows a week. Like, um, yeah, six, usually 6 max. But yeah, so I'm always up late. So my sleeping pattern's fine. I just wake up at like 11, and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So who in
yeah,
the DJ industry do you look up to? Has that kind of changed since you started, or has it kind of been similar?
yeah. There's some like on a more local scale, like not the massive DJs, but all the guys around that I would class as around me, like I look up to all of them and I keep an
Yeah.
eye on what all they're doing, like all the guys that are doing like just guest bookings and stuff up and down. I respect them all. Like everyone's sick. I just respect anyone that's good at DJing. To be fair, whether they're like touring the UK or if I just walk into a bar and they're just shelling it off, like I just respect the craft quite a lot. So.
Mm. So what, in your opinion, what makes a good DJ?
Oh man, that's a beast of a question. That is. I don't know.
What do you mean
Like,
you don't know? You do know.
um, like obviously mixing ability,
Yeah.
like is just the standard, and then
Setting up your own equipment is the standard, I think.
yeah, I just caught guys, bloody hell, man, being able to set up your SL box is a start for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Jones
yes, every day.
is too humble.
No, but yeah, just like being able to mix well, just obviously track selection. And I like doing little things that are like little tricks in your set. I think a lot of people have their own little routines and tricks and little wordplay bits, and
Yeah, I know
you
yours is the
know,
wordplay. So like, did that kind
yeah,
of, how did you kind of decide that wanted to be your little specialty in your set?
I can't remember that point, to be honest. I can't remember when that was or why that was. I can't even really remember when I started doing it, but there's a few DJs that use that technique as like a mixing tool, just
Yeah.
like using the same word in a couple of tunes. Yeah, and I had a few examples that I just stumbled upon, and then I just thought, oh, I'm gonna think of more of these, and then I started like consciously. I'd sit down, I'd listen to acapellas, I'd be like, right, okay, where's the wordplay in this? What can I do
Yeah.
with something that's just come out? Or
Do
yeah,
you think that
so
helps you DJing a lot in clubs and stuff like that?
yeah, it's good. It's good for I think you know, there's certain ones that I do that are just, you don't have to be like a DJ enthusiast or anything to be like, oh my God, that's the same, sick, and then it drops. Like, there's a few really bad. Obviously, there's some more in-depth ones that I'll turn around and I go, oh, do you realise, like, I looped that word because that's the name of the next track's artist's dog. And like, but yeah, but yeah, no, the bait ones are sick for clubs, as anyone that does them knows.
Yeah. So I was speaking to Kieran J about this, right? So he was saying that, well, actually, I was speaking to Ironic, and he brought it up to me, and he was saying that with the help of like DJ City with the intros, do you think it's made it easier to DJ in like a cheat way? And I said, like, it's not really a cheat way, but it's just easier to mix in and just sounds better. But then Kieran J added to this and said that people don't listen to music how we listen to it. So they'll just know the first bit that drops, and they'll know, okay, it's this song, but no one knows the intro because the beat's totally different.
Yeah.
So what's your kind of take on the intro side of things? Do you use them, or you kind of just more about the radio edits and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've definitely got a load of intro versions, like edits that have got different acapellas at the start, and also I've got loads of them, and I do use them sometimes for sure. It's just maybe it's lazy, but I just think they work. You know, 90% of the people in a venue half the time aren't going to be like, oh, that's a pre-made edit, or oh, that guy's just done that on the fly. Like, do you know what I mean?
Only us DJs will kind of know about it.
Like, yeah, there'll be like 10 lads in the booth that might look at me like, yo, so I like the way you did that, or ooh. But really, you know, all the punters in general, I wouldn't say that they were that tuned. I don't know if that's being cheeky, but I wouldn't say they were that tuned in or bothered really, as long as they're hearing the tunes that they like.
So you've kind of DJed all around Europe, Dubai, all these places. So what's been a highlight for you?
Highlight is probably doing Ushuaia, I think. Or there's a couple, but
okay, I'll give you two.
Ushuaia, because that was like the first big thing that I ended up doing. I was working for a brand called Applebum, like a hip hop brand, just like touring. They tour the UK and stuff. So I was doing that with them, and that was going really well. It was like my first year touring with them, and then it was just going class. And I was thinking, this year is fucking sick. And then they invited me to Ibiza because they were doing like a festival there, and I was like, yeah, I didn't ask where I'd be playing or what I'd be doing, but they were like, yeah, we'll put you on a few things throughout the week. It was like a package deal, so you buy a ticket and you get all these different entries. So they're like, oh, we'll give you a few gigs across the week, like payments minimal, but like it's gonna be sick. And I was like, yeah, cool, that sounds great. And I was buzzing, and everyone was going. And then about a month or two before we actually went, like they said, right, okay, Joe, these are the gigs you're playing. And it was like a boat party, and which was class, and then High, which was used to be called Space, like mass use, like 9,000 cap. It's ridiculous. So I did there, closed there, which was great.
High Ibiza is like one of the best clubs in the world, man. Like,
yeah.
So that was it voted best? I think it was voted the best club.
It might well have been. Yeah, it was amazing. And then like the big one then on the following Wednesday of that same week was Ushuaia. Like,
it
was just crazy. Like it was.
What is it about Ushuaia?
It's mental, mate. Like Nathan's done it, and Rusky, and obviously Charlesy and that. But like the hospitality is just delicious for a start. Like you just get there. There's like a private dressing room at the back. It's like all UV. They've got decks in there. They've got a bar in there, and all the artists are in one dressing room. So like the day I was there, I think it was like Steel Bangles and Mist, Target, Tiny Temper. Somebody else. We're all just in this room together, like all day, back it in and out, back and forth. And then like at the end of it all, when the big show finishes, when Tiny finishes, they just grab like a select cast, and they just bring them back to the dressing room, and then they just set up the decks in there, and then it's just like they're like, oh Joe, do you mind DJing the afters? I'm like, yeah. And then it's just like you just DJ in there, fucking Tiny Tempers there, Miss there, I mean, like,
we got Continental GT as well inside.
Man, like GT,
so like, with kind of Ushuaia, right? So a lot of DJs who DJ out in Marbella, Ibiza, always say that those two are the best places to DJ in Europe. Like, what is like? I know Ushuaia, the vibe and everything, but what is it about these two places?
Uh, Ushuaia, it's just
You can't.
mental, mate.
You're reminiscing, man. This guy's gonna start crying.
Honestly, don't,
I get the
mate,
tissues, man.
because it's just so good. Like, I don't know. Have you been there before?
No, I haven't been to Ushuaia. I haven't been out.
Outdoors. Like, it's next to the airport in Ibiza, so the planes like every
Yeah,
15 minutes are flying, but they're like here, just above the rooftops, and then like the production, the stage, the fucking screens behind, like the artists, the pyrotechnics, like
it's
all
just
outdoors
everything.
with like some of the most beautiful people in the world from all across the world, like the VIPs booting off, people are
So
buying 30
you're
grand bottles
crying,
of
man.
Belvedere.
You're low
Like,
key
oh,
gonna start
don't, man,
crying.
it's just the
I'm
most
gonna start in his
unreal place.
feelings, man. You're in your feelings.
No, it's just the best place, mate. It's just unbelievable. So
So
yeah.
what is it? Okay, which country do you prefer to DJ in? Is it Dubai, UAE, or is it Marbella? Where is it?
They all have their merits, I think. Like Ibiza's sick because
Again.
I play hip hop, but I love house
Yeah.
music. So in Ibiza we can have like a show at Ocean Beach and then like go to DC 10 after. So that's good.
So
But then
Guy
like
was saying this. Do you think it's hard for DJs to be a house DJ but play hip hop and then try to get house bookings?
yeah, it's a weird one. I'm torn a bit myself actually about this because I love playing house music, but I'm toying with like, should I be doing all the house stuff on an alias or should I just be doing it under the same name? Or
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm a bit back and forth with that. I don't really know what I'd say to that. I don't know what advice I'd give someone who was in the same dilemma because who knows?
Where do you think
I don't even know.
where do you think like the UK music scene is going? Do you think it's trash? Do you think it's good? What do you think about it?
I quite like it, to be fair. I'm even coming around to drill music, which I wasn't to start
You weren't
with,
into
but
drill?
not at the beginning when it was just like when all the lyrics were just like just so, do you know what I mean?
Heavy.
Just so heavy, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to put this on in clubs. Like it's like, yeah, it might get like 50% of the man them like crazy, but
Yeah.
that's not really like how I want a dance floor really in general. So yeah, but now it started getting a bit more musical. They've got choruses, and yeah, I feel like it's getting there now, so I don't mind as much.
You don't seem too enthusiastic about drill though.
No, well, I wouldn't say I was
You're kind of like, yeah,
to
it's
the
there.
brim
It's
with
just there.
enthusiasm. It's there, but yeah, no, on the up hand, I love like the UK scene though, man.
Yeah.
Like Huss, Dave, Fleming, J1. I know MJ's in there. Like,
Yeah.
it's just sick, mate. Even like H for the youngers, like, but he's not by any means like not talented. Like, it's sick. Then you got the big dogs still knocking about, from Kano, Skepta, all them guys.
So
yeah,
DJing in other countries,
mad.
does it help you with your genre and like, because you must get a lot of international music and stuff like that into your
Yeah,
playlist,
yeah,
so.
for sure. Like at certain places, like Marbella, for example, you can be in the club and there'd be like 50% French people, or
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And Dubai, like when I played in One Oak, it's the crowds like loads of African Americans, like sit. You can play Afro beats in there, and it's like a jungle. But yeah, so definitely I had to brush up a bit. I went to see Kenrick when I was in Dubai. I went to see him at base, and like
Yeah.
one thing that like took me back, I thought about maybe moving to Dubai at some point, but I watched his set and I thought, you know what, I couldn't handle this because he's playing tunes. He's playing like dipping from French to Arabic
I've seen his crate, and it's like he's got Russian music in his crate.
It's ridiculous.
And I'm like,
for a bit. So
cool.
we were talking about Kenrick,
Yeah,
and
no,
you said that you were looking at his crate.
Yeah. He's like, his crates are just mad. Like, he's got all these different genres, these different cultures in there, and I'm like, I think I could do like as you're saying, like maybe one-offs here and there, but I don't think I could like go there,
Yeah, man.
try and
It's
get a
tough.
season, because
It's
I
tough.
don't think
It's
I had
tough.
that ability.
It's crazy. It's like, yeah, the breadth of musical knowledge you have to do those places. Even Charlesy and that, you know, like you're like, you might be in the venue and think, oh, this is a bit of a weird like remix, but they cater into like a whole different set of ears. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that I'm probably gonna keep an eye on over the next like year, making sure that I'm building that up as well. Because
Hmm.
you know, if it's demand, then I need to have it there.
Has radio ever been like a thing for you? So I saw you done a guest mix with DJ Tiny. So
Yeah,
like, has radio ever been a thing for you, or have you kind of want to stick down the festival club route?
yeah. I can't see myself. Can't see myself like presenting radio. So a couple of people have said that to me, but I just can't. I can't see it, man. Right now,
Do you think it's dying out?
I don't know. I don't. I know a lot of people that still listen to One Extra and shit. You know, my housemate's got One Extra on every morning. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see like the figures, listenership. But yeah,
I think it's with platforms like Mixcloud, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music. I don't think it's dying necessarily at a quick rate, but I think it's not gonna, in the next 10 years. I don't see it being the main source of where I get my music from.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree, especially with
Definitely.
like Beats Radio and stuff, and like
Yeah.
because now sometimes I'll just like we're playing FIFA just all the time, especially right now, and you know just every night for hours. So like it's like who's on the Bluetooth. I'm
Yeah.
gonna bang on something, and now you can just go onto your phone, go to Beats One, check out like Julie Adenuga's Agenda show
Mm.
or Zane Lowe's show, or do you know what I mean? So you don't even need the radio anymore because you don't want adverts and shit like that. Yeah,
So
shut up, man.
don't want FIFA smoke.
Shut up, man. MJ, please don't make me come and pull your pants
Were you
down.
that bad?
Well, I don't know what he's on about, mate. I'm straight top binners.
So working with like all these artists and big DJs and everything, do you kind of have to stay humble, or are you kind of like a little bit inside you like, oh my God, this is whoever? Or
Nah, you've got to, haven't you? You've got to be fucking humble, man. Jesus.
yeah.
I think I like to think I am. I wouldn't say that I was like working with loads of artists or anything, but yeah, there's sometimes you do have moments where you're like, this is so sick, man. Like, I can't believe that somebody's like
Mm.
paid for me to do this. That's insane. So yeah, but yeah, no, sometimes you do look around, you're like, sick, fucking hell. But you can't be a prick. I think people that are like end up getting entitled.
Yeah.
Usually, I don't think they usually hang around for long, you know, in the industry because people get sick of them. So
Definitely. So going with like artists, would you want to be an artist DJ, or would you want to be a resident DJ at a club and an artist comes down and you DJ for the artist?
that's another thing that I'm not sure on. Like we've got MJ in the comments. I don't know what you think, MJ, but like there's a lot. It looks glitzy from the outside doing artist DJing, but you know, a lot of the time, especially if you're with an artist that's starting out, like the money in it isn't great. And you just, you know, I quite like being able to properly be flary while I'm DJing. I want to be showing off and doing bits and tricks and all that. But you know, that's not your job if you're an artist DJ. It's usually just like warm the crowd up.
But let's say if you take Charlesy for an example, if you're that type of artist DJ, then do you think that could work for you?
Yeah, that's Charles's obviously done it different. Like he's played a blinder, to be honest. He's you know he's done the artist DJ thing, and
if you got the right balance,
but at the same time been building up
in the back. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you've got to build up
MJ.
your brand first, in my opinion, before you get to it. Because like with MJ, he built up his brand first before he got with J1. So like everyone kind of knew him before.
Now it's just like oh MJ, oh you remember MJ, that DJ? Yeah, fucking hell, he's DJing with J1 now because they already know who he is, and now this is just an extra thing. And it's sick. It's like oh. MJ's doing this and this too. He comes on the Applebum tour with me sometimes, and then it's just like, oh, but also I've got a tour in Australia like next week. That just looks sick.
See, that's the thing. Like when he gets his perks, like, you know, with him doing all these mad festivals and gigs, blah blah blah, like definitely. But it's
Yeah,
just
but
working
then
your
also
brand
I
up.
like, yeah, exactly. Like also you don't want to fall into that pocket of being like, oh, blah blah blah, like this person's DJ or this, you know, like
Mm.
Charlesy. It's usually like Charlesy and Tiny,
To be
and
honest, no one
that's
actually
quite a thing.
sees
It's
Charlie
not
as
like
Tiny's DJ.
no, no one says to Charles,
Yeah,
no one says about Charlesy, oh, is that Tiny's DJ? Like everyone just knows him in his own right. So I think that you have to be careful not to fall into that trap, because if you do, then you just get lost, I think, in the background, which is what I'd be
definitely.
scared of doing it.
Mm. What's your kind of take on DJs not playing their part in the sets? So warm-up sets in particular.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of people answering this. I'm not, there's a lot of tunes in the world, so
Yeah.
I'm not that much of a stickler for it. If someone does it before me when I've come to play somewhere, I might have a little look around and be like, fuck, this guy's fucked me here. But
Do you kind
but
of go up and tell them you gotta stop, or do you kind of
nah,
are you gonna let him do
nah,
his thing or
never.
hard thing or whatever?
I'd never. But sometimes I just think it in my own head. But there's enough bloody tunes in the world. If someone comes and plays, like, say last year played Mo Bamba Sicko Mode and da da
Yeah.
da da, then you just go on and just, like, if someone's trying to shell it off with tunes, then you just go and shell it off with talent, I think. So you just
Mm.
go in and just be like, oh, watch, I'm gonna mix next episode, but I'm just gonna do some mad trick, and you're just gonna be
Yeah.
over there.
So what kind of makes your set unique? Why do people come to your set?
Um, I think it's quite like high paced. There's little trick bits in it, and people know. Yeah, just like high energy. Um, just like what most DJs would try and do. I just think I just pull it off quite well now. But yeah, just high energy, like loads of different fucking genres, like
Yeah.
sick little tricks.
How are you on the mic? Are
Um,
you good at hosting your set, or would you rather have a host?
I would rather have a host anyway, because like I think it just takes a lot of pressure off you. If you got someone, there's somebody called Kirby that I work with a lot. He does
Yeah.
IB for Rocks, but he does a hip hop. You should get him on, actually. He's
Okay.
dope. But yeah, so he hosts a lot of my sets, and when I've got him there, I know that I can just completely tune out to that. I can just like let him do
Mm.
that, and I can just be out here doing little trickies, and he knows already now what I'm gonna do, because we've been working together so much. So I do like having a host, but I can do it myself. I don't do it as much, but like certain gigs where it's just gonna be me, I will do. I will jump on. Yeah.
So for you to get into like the clubbing scene, was it more just of you knowing people, or how did you get into the clubbing scene? And like what tips
Yeah,
would you give to people getting in?
it's definitely to do with. I think it can't harm just getting to know as many people, just anyone. Just
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if the more people that know you're a DJ, the better it's going to be. Full stop. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
mine personally, I was like, got to uni, like I said, was DJing. Yes, O'Neill. I was
Yes.
DJing in house parties and stuff at university halls, just knocking about, just being a nuisance. And then eventually, yeah, somebody just said, "Oh, we've heard that you've been doing all these house parties. Do you want to come try out?"
Yeah.
So yeah, I did. Then the rest is history. Yeah. So
What
just
advice would you give to up and coming DJs trying to get into the scene?
just work relentlessly, man. Just get good. Get as good as you can. That's like the main thing, because I do think, even
Because the
though
trim is
people,
hard.
ah,
Hey, you know what?
O'Neill, man.
Wait. This guy can't even chat yet because he didn't even get that thing right on his live. He didn't even get Mensa's name. He didn't even get
Mate,
George Mensa's name right on his live.
this guy is a wind up, mate. Honestly, you can't take him anywhere. But yeah, no, I can't remember what I was saying now.
How can you not
What were we
remember,
talking
bro?
about? Oh, I can't remember, mate. O'Neill's throwing me off.
We were
Oh,
talking about like how can DJs, up and coming DJs, get into the scene? Like what's the
oh yeah.
tips for them?
Get good. I was saying, get
Yeah,
good. Like people, yeah, like what MJ's saying. Too many want to be big first and get good later, which is just the wrong way about it. People now, I think, because you can generate quite a buzz with social media and stuff. Some people get that before they get the skills, then it's painful, man. I'd rather have somebody just say, look, I've been grafting in my
yeah.
room for the last 2 years and I've just got mad. Do you want to see my skills? And I'd be like, yeah, okay. And then I'd think of them if I needed a cover or a spot filling, like over someone that was
What's your
shit.
take on the
But
scene at the moment? Like, obviously, it's oversaturated, and there's a lot of DJs out there. But do you think there's still good people around, or do you think because now it's so easy to pick up a deck and get Serato and whatever, there's just people kind of not really taking it seriously? They're just messing about, and because they know the right people, they're getting in.
that is the case. You know, there are people, definitely people that are just getting in because of the people they know. Even with
Yeah,
some of the like really prestigious brands and stuff. Not throwing any shade at anyone, but but like, you know, even all the way up the industry. I mean, there's people getting things because of who they know. But I still am a big believer in like, or like I'm optimistic that there's a lot of like sick, talented DJs as well,
yeah.
just doing the rounds. Like a load of DJs I know are just so sick. Although it is a lot easier to learn from
It was a
scratch
name
these
and shame.
days. Who's that, Alex?
Alex, oh
You can
shit,
do one,
sorry.
mate. Um, but yeah, no, I agree with what MJ's saying. I think talent will out eventually. Like all the people that are just getting places because of who they know and stuff. Eventually, it's just. I think it's just like unquestionable. Like if you're like, oh, I've got this sick guy here who's sick at DJing, built his way up, got a good fan base, or this guy who's my mate. Like eventually, talent will out. I like to think so. So I think just run until you're just sick at DJing.
How is it? Like, obviously, you've got friendships and in this industry, friendships and management. Do they go well together, or is it like it's a fine line? Like, what do you kind of take on that?
Yeah, no, it's tough. I've got like one of my mates, Mikey, for example, and the boys who do the Applebum stuff. Like they're my good friends. So when shit conversations need to be had, it's shit. But
Yeah,
I think we've got older and it's got easier to deal. You know, it's got easier to deal with. We have like that guy. He'll say to me, "Right, okay, business chat for a second," and then it's just completely. Then it's just like we're not friends. It's just how we treat any DJ, and he just says to me, "Right, this has been pulled, this has been lowered, this has been downgraded, or whatever." And then he'll go, "Right, anyway, so what you saying later?" Like, and then it just goes back. So we've learned to get around it. It's okay.
yeah. So with your kind of DJ style, do you think you're hard to work with, or do you think you're easy to work with DJ?
Reese, Reese is gonna say I'm hard to work with. He's sat in the next room, but but no, I don't think so. I think I'm super easy to work with. To be honest, I'm not like
Yeah.
a diva. I'm not a diva at all.
Have you got a
I
rider?
don't care. Nah, like if someone asks me what my rider is,
Oh yeah.
then
What drinks
then
have
they'll
you got
get.
there?
I don't know, probably like a nice Captain Morgan's or something.
Captain.
No,
Nah,
not feeling it.
nah.
Joe's rider is nuts. Oh man. Yeah, but yeah, no, it depends. Like, it depends. If it depends who you're working for. I think a lot of the
Yeah.
time I'm doing these things, I'm working for my mates, so I'll just be like, oh, chuck us a bottle of this or whatever.
That's a dirty. Imagine I walked in
MJ's
Applebum
killing
and
me,
saw
mate.
orange only Skittles in a bowl.
That's mad, that is. But yeah, nah, I haven't got to that point.
Have you wanted to go down the production route or just stay as a DJ?
Yeah, I have. I have so many times like opened up Logic and just sat and
Yeah.
looked at it and just like gone on
I said
YouTube,
looked
tried
at
to
it.
find
I
a
said looked at
tutorial.
it.
Yeah, that's as far as I've got. But yeah, it's just such a beast, isn't it? I think starting from scratch is just so daunting. So I make little edits and stuff sometimes,
Yeah.
just acapella onto instrumental, like straightforward stuff. But I've never made something from scratch, or anything I have done sounded like garbage. So I need to sit with someone, I think.
If you look back at your career, what would you have done differently? Or is there anything you've done differently?
Oh, there's loads of things, mate. There's loads of things you like. Fucking hell, I'd have done 30-minute mix of Chris Brown like Rusky if I'd have known what was gonna happen. Do you know what I mean? Or I'd have gone and done blimmin' boat parties in Zante like Nathan, like or yeah, man. Different haircut. Reese is saying, yeah. To be fair, that's one of my regrets. But no, no, not really. You just everything you do, you just means you get to where you are, don't you? It's all right where I am, so I'm happy.
So what are we seeing from you in the next 5 years? Where do you want to be? What do you want to achieve?
Oh man, I don't know. Honestly, like I'm doing all the things I want to do at the minute. Like there's a few, there's always every time I do something, that I wanted to do for a while.
Yeah.
I don't take it for granted, but it's kind of like sick. That's done. Like now, what's the next thing that you can work towards? Like, so, you do like a club that you wanted to do for ages, like, and they finally invite you, you go do it. It's like sick. I hopefully do that a bit more, but it's not as much like a burning desire. The next thing, then the next thing comes along. So
Reset.
I think
Marbella, Ibiza, Dubai, repeat.
Yeah, that's what he works out in Marbella. He runs Charlie Sloth's clubs in the UK. But yeah, he does the Marbella stuff in summer, and now he's saying he wants to do like a bit of Marbella, a bit of Ibiza, and then just do a winter season in Dubai and just do that on repeat for a few years. That's what he wants to do.
Do you think you'd move away for a season?
I don't know, like. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I don't know whether, like, some people go and they capitalize and they do it really well, and they'll stay out all season. Like you have like Policy in Ibiza, for example. He goes out, but he does a residency, but he also does like he did the fucking the big gangster rich bitch shows in High for Charlesy, and he did like loads of bits for Ocean and stuff. I think that's and you come back from that summer and people are like, oh, you've had a sick summer. But I couldn't do like a one club every night season anymore. I don't think.
I think that would get too repetitive for you. Like you already hate quarantine, so.
Oh, exactly, mate. Yeah, it's just a slightly sweatier prison, isn't it?
What's been the worst experiences DJing with promoters and managers? Have you had any?
I've had a couple, yeah. Sometimes you smell people a mile off, and they'll say, "Oh, do you want to play this?" And you sort of accept it, put it in the diary, but you think, I don't reckon that event's going to go ahead, or that the way that guy just booked me, like it's just a bit booky. So you have to have your wits about you. I've not had any absolute howlers. I've had like sometimes I've had a booking pulled like on the day. Oh, sorry, actually it's raining and we can't do this, or blah, blah, blah. And they're frustrating because obviously you've planned for that, for the P's or whatever. But no, I've not had any massive howlers, people doing me over really badly or anything.
So you see all these events coming up, right? Do you think that clubbing is getting dead, that they need these events to come in? Or do you think clubbing is fine and events are fine and it's all good?
I don't know. I just think there's just been a massive culture shift. Like you've still got the rave scenes are still massive. Like I assume drum and bass, but like house music raves still huge, and the parties cropping up are doing really well and stuff. But I just think like just standard clubbing now, because we live in such like an Instagrammable world. Like people, 9 times out of 10, it's cooler to be doing like Pilates at 9 a.m. rather than going out to a nightclub and getting wrecked. Like it's just on trend.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I've done. Get me wrong, mate. I've done a bit of downward dog in lockdown.
Thing,
Nah, but no, I agree with LV as well. I think there will definitely be quite a boom. I think there'll be a boom when the clubs reopen. To be honest, at some point, however far down the line.
I think the clubs are going to go back to square one, how they were, and stick with their residencies and their DJs that they know. even if they may have tried to look outside what they know. But that's what I think.
Mm.
I don't know. I
Oh,
could be
yeah,
wrong.
I
I
hope
could be
not,
wrong. I
mate.
could be wrong.
I hope not, because that's like if you're doing guest bookings, that's your industry, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
and like while you can get paid slightly more sometimes for them, like it's still that's like it's a luxury to the club to be like forking out that extra bit for a guest DJ.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
if everyone's really tight, then it's gonna be you're gonna see a shift for us lot for sure.
But like pricing and everything, no one even knows. Like, how do you know what to price yourself at after quarantine? Because like you may think the money you put, like the price you put, it could be like even cheap, you know, for coming out of quarantine, but the club can't even
Yeah,
handle it.
I'm
Like,
gonna go bold, mate.
you're gonna go
I'm gonna
bold.
go
You're gonna go
bold.
bold.
I go straight in, yeah, just like, oh yeah, I want this. See what
Yeah, yeah,
happens.
yeah. Have you got a contract?
No, no
So you
sort
just
of
take. So
contract.
you just say like, what? Do
Oh,
you
a
not take
contract
money
for when
up
I'm
front?
booking. Oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
you know what? I don't, and I should. Like, I, I don't take deposits or anything. I really should, man. It's
So
getting to that
now
point.
we've had this conversation. Now you're gonna get onto that one.
Yeah, mate. I'm
No,
just
because I've had
straight on it.
people. I've had people where like I've got booked, and then like 2 days before they're like, "Oh, we found another DJ for cheaper," and I'm like, "Well, why didn't you just like?" That's why I started doing a contract thing,
Yeah,
take
like
a
I said,
deposit.
I just haven't really been stung. I think I've had like one big guest booking pulled like
Yeah,
on the day. Other than that, not I've just been lucky. So I haven't, I think once you've been burned, you'll be like, shit, I better get a contract now.
yeah,
But
definitely.
I've just been so chilled. Everything's been so chilled, and with mates, and I almost didn't want to, as I was like getting up a little bit to where I wanted to be. You kind of you don't want to sometimes say that, like you've made friends with
Mm.
someone, built some rapport with them, and they've said, oh yeah, come down, do this event for my brand, and then you're like, yeah, no worries, here's my contract, here's the deposit, see you on the 15th. Like,
So you,
do you know what I mean? I think that
yeah,
might come
because then
across
they
a
might
bit.
not. They might be like, okay, no, maybe I don't want him.
Yeah, and I'm always like, I think I undervalue myself quite a lot of the time. So I always think like, oh, there's no way I could ask someone to pay a deposit for me. Like, do you know what I mean? I always
Mm.
think that.
Do you
So
critique your sets like after your set? Do you proper go hardcore on yourself?
nah, usually after my set, I'm happy.
You're
Usually,
waved.
I don't look back. Yeah, I'm usually just blitzed. No, I'm not. But yeah, no, I'm usually happy fully. Usually, so you have the old off day, don't you? And then
Yeah.
you'd be like, "Oh, Joe, you were just a bit shit tonight." But then when it's like turn it on time, I come away buzzing. Usually, just like, "Yep, them lot have just had a sick night." Sick.
Have you had to lock off a tune because of artist beef?
Yeah, that happened not long ago actually. Um, I don't want to get
What's your
this
kind of
wrong.
take on that? What's your take on that though?
I don't know, man. I think it's a bit. I don't live in that industry, so
Mm.
in that pocket of the world. So for me to just say, oh, it's a bit childish, like maybe it's not. Maybe this person's dad shot this person's mum. Like maybe it's real. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to
Yeah,
take. I
yeah.
don't want to belittle. I don't want to belittle it because I don't live in that world. But to me, in quite a
But in
chilled,
a clubbing
privileged-ish world.
environment, it's just like,
I know, yeah. That's
you
what
know
I
what I
think.
mean?
I think like, come on, man. Like, what you guys don't like Jay Huss, and he's just dropped a new album, and I'm not allowed to play one of the tunes. Like that's unreasonable.
Or just don't come
But
out. You
then,
know what I mean? If you know you're gonna go out,
yeah,
you know that you're gonna hear this song anyway. If it's in the charts, you know you're
yeah.
gonna hear it.
I think they're there to work at the end of the day, and like if the artists are being paid like 5 grand to be there, and it's nine
Yeah.
times out of ten, it's not the artist that's complaining, it's one of the
It's their
crew.
follower. Yeah, it's one of their
Yeah,
crew.
yeah. So like, I'm like, if Blimmin, whoever it is, X, I'm gonna say, comes out and says to me, "Oh, we don't want that J Hus tune played,"
Yeah.
then I might be a bit like, "Oh shit, this is obviously really deep for you." If you're gonna say that when you're here getting
Do you
paid
lock
five
it? Did you
grand,
lock it
then
off when it happened? Did you just like straight lock it, or were you playing it
not just
still?
like a not just like a pause. That'd be
Pause.
a
Two
bit just
buttons
like,
over.
"Hello everybody, sorry, this has been requested to be turned off." No, I would have just mixed it out slightly faster than I would have done usually, but to be fair, I think if I didn't I wouldn't be in the wrong if I just let the tune run either. So I think
Any
either way.
mistakes while DJing or any like equipment malfunctions?
Oh, obviously, man. But I've
What's
been
been a
doing it
worse
for
one? What's
like,
been a worse one for you?
oh, I've had full club power outage, piss in the smoking machine, like
What?
also, man, there's been
I
like there's these big jugs, with the smoke machine fluid, and one of them was filled with piss in the smoke machine out. Like, yes, Keon, work one. But yeah, just
That's
like
disgusting.
loads of things. Yeah, loads of things, mate. Things catching on fire, fights beyond belief. Like, obviously, I've been doing it for ages, so I've
Yeah.
seen it all.
How do you kind of deal with these like malfunctions and stuff? Do you just kind of get on a mic or like, do you
Uh,
just try and restart
I,
everything?
I wouldn't have
I
in
said, no, I
earlier
came in at the wrong
years. I'd
time.
have just yeah. I wouldn't in earlier years. I wouldn't have been able to. I fucking hated picking the mic up. I was like proper. Didn't feel comfortable doing it. So like if that happened, it would just be a deathly silence probably till I found some other way of playing music if there was a CD there
So
or whatever.
all you hear is people chanting.
But yeah, now I feel like if that it hasn't happened in a while, touch wood. But now that you're like straight into the mixer and stuff,
Yeah.
it's quite a lot easier. But yeah, like if it happened now, I'd probably pick up a mic and start off some sort of chant or something. I don't know.
How you
But
like with reading the crowd? Did that kind of come to you naturally, or did you have to properly, focus and get more experience in the clubbing industry?
I think that just comes, doesn't it? Like it's definitely your first ever gig. You realize like your first ever proper gig, you're in an actual venue and there's
Mm.
strangers there, strangers that you don't know what music they like, but you have to guess because of the
You have to
club they're
guess
in
it,
or
yeah.
the group they're in. Like that's when you just
Do
pick
you
it
do
up
you tend
naturally.
to do you tend to kind of stereotype when you DJ, or do you think, no, I think like this is a commercial crowd, or you see like, let's say you see a group of, I don't know, mixed race people, or do you kind of tend to do that, or do you just tease
I
it?
don't know, man. Like mixed race people could like alternative rock and dubstep remixes for all I know, but I am mixed
True.
race. I'm not taking a piss. But yeah, like I mean, anyone can like anything is what I mean. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I will tend to like. I've done so many of the venues now before, so it's like okay, I know that when I go to bloody do somewhere in Cardiff for Jordan or
Yeah.
something, like I know that top floor is going to be similar people and they like this, UK urban
Mm-hmm.
bashment, whatever, they like that. Or I know that like okay, I'm playing an Applebum show, so that to be on brand for them, I have to be playing like hip hop and stuff. And but yeah, obviously, if you 1 week it just seems to be slightly younger or slightly older crowd, you
Yeah.
make little tweaks, don't you? Of course.
What's your favorite city to DJ in the UK?
Oh, that's hard, man. That is really hard. I like. I've got there's a special place in my heart for Leeds because I
Hmm.
grew from a like boy to a man there
Yeah,
really
yeah.
at uni. But then like I love going down having a session in Birmingham. I love there's like we do a show in Bournemouth, a hip hop album show that's like one of the best things that I do. Like just insane energy and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, there's so
What is
many,
it
but
about these scenes that make it for you like a highlight and like a big part of the UK?
yeah, they've all got the different little merits. Like, yes, Bournemouth, he knows. Um, but yeah, they've all got the different merits. Leeds is like they've got like a little family there because I,
Yeah.
I I met from 18 to 26 or whatever or 20, I don't know 27 probably. Um, I just met all these people, as I was growing up, and so when I DJ there, it's like Joe's DJing, blah blah blah. This person's here. This person's just come and got me a
Mm.
tequila. This person's done this. So Leeds is class for that reason.
Yeah.
Birmingham's like just the shellers. They just like their music there. Then you've got like Sheffield as well. I forgot about that.
You're
Sheffield
forgetting now.
Saturday.
You're forgetting.
Oh mate, there's too
Slack
many,
it, bro.
honestly. Yeah, Keon for sure, man. I'm on that. We do need to do something, bro. When this eases up, But yeah, yeah, there's so many for different reasons. I just love
Yeah.
anywhere where the vibe's sick, man.
Have you DJed in London?
Yeah, yeah, a few times. I do like a monthly ish for a guy in Camden, or a couple of guys in Camden, which is sick at Duo.
Yeah.
We do events there, so we do the hip hop events there and stuff. I've never done like Mayfair circuit
What's your kind of
clubs,
take on
but
that scene though? Do you think it's like very, you've got to be in that circle kind of thing and
it
kind of,
seems that way. Yeah, it seems like quite a tight circle, but just like most cities, really.
yeah,
Like if you go to Arcadian on a weekend in Birmingham, like you're pretty much gonna see like if you go to all the clubs, I'm gonna see Day Day, then I'm gonna see Dom, and then Shaq and GT, and then I'm
yeah,
gonna see like Dougie, like Reckless, all of them. They're all there, Jamski, like all of them. So yeah, I think that's the same in London. Like you've got like Ake and Jojo and those guys. They all look dope. They look like they're dope DJs. So I don't hate on them, but they've got like they're
yeah.
quite a tight knit
Yeah, it's
circle by
very
the
tight.
looks
It's
of things.
very, very tight. Like when I was speaking to a guy about it as well, he was like, it's one of the hardest things to kind of infiltrate into that circle
Yeah, for sure.
because they like to, it's like with Arcadians, you're saying, it's just like a rotation kind of thing. They just got rotation of about 10 DJs. That's it.
Yeah, man. And if they're good, like if I can't get in somewhere and all the DJs that are
Yeah,
there look
Soraya as
like they're
well.
good, I don't really. Oh yeah, Soraya as well. Fucking hell. But that are there are good, and I can't
Yeah.
muscle my way in. That doesn't. I'm like, okay, at least they're good. Do you know what I mean? If they're
Mm,
shit and I can't muscle in, I'm like, oh, why are they letting those shit people do it? But they seem like they're good DJs, so
yeah.
let them have
Let them have it, bro. But, bro, just to kind of
it.
finish, off, like, what's the next steps for you after quarantine? Like, what do you wanna? What's the exact thing you're gonna try to do when clubs reopen?
Oh, I think it's going to be like a race, a pedal to the floor, isn't it? It's
Are you
going to
gonna
be a
do an event?
race. Like
Are you
I
gonna put
want
your own
to,
event on,
yeah,
or?
I want to, I want to, yeah. A couple of things sort of up here, but yeah, there's some plans. But like as soon as the clubs reopen, it's just going to
Yeah.
be a race. Everyone is going to have to be making up for all this lost time, like financially, clout wise, like getting the bookings in early. Like it's just going to be mental. Like I hope
Definitely.
so. So yeah, I'm gonna go and have a meeting about some management stuff because I think it's maybe time like to get someone behind me to like really kick me up the arse. So
Yeah.
that's going to be like the first thing I do because obviously it's a good time to start. Probably a little rebrand, um, and then yeah, then just hit the ground running. I think like we've still been busy and active during quarantine, like with mixes and interviews and streams and things. So I don't think anyone's going to have been forgotten about.
Mm.
So yeah, just graft off.
Yeah, bro. But thank you, bro. I really appreciate you taking your time out and doing this. And like, big
No
up
sweat.
everyone involved. Thanks, Alfie. Yeah, big
Shout
up
out.
everyone.
Yes,
But
Alfie,
yeah, like,
salute,
if
hold tight.
for people who joined in, just if you don't follow me, give me a follow. I've got a lot of interviews coming up, and like, bro, thank you. I really appreciate it. And
No
hopefully I can
worries,
come
bro.
down.
Take
Hopefully I
care.
can come down to your set after
Pull up, man,
quarantine,
for
man.
sure. Safe.
Definitely. Cheers. See you.
Peace.